welcome to What It Takes. At What It Takes, we're just bringing you the best and the brightest among people who seem ordinary, but they're doing some very extraordinary things. And our guest today is taking us to the beach. I'm very excited about it. I feel like I'm kind of dressed for it. We're ready. My guest is Dr. Sissey Wilder. How are you?
I am great, and thank you so much for having me, Denise.
You are quite welcome. It was a pleasure meeting you. I met you at the Georgia Romance Writers Association.
Yes.
And we've been talking ever since and building a great friendship, and I really appreciate you coming out.
Thank you again.
Yes. You wrote Sister to Sister Weekend.
Yes.
And it is, I've got to tell you, it's phenomenal. You've got to read it. You got to pick it up. It's available on Amazon, right?
And BarnesandNoble.com also.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about the book. I know the setting is in Destin, Florida. I'm a Floridian, so it really attracted me, and I love the cover.
Oh, but thank you so
much. Yes. What inspired you to write it in Destin? About based on Destin?
Well, about 11 years ago, I had 6 sisters, and we all got together one weekend and decided to just get together and just have some good old fun. And we actually didn't go to Destin. We actually went. I did just sort of got a hotel and stayed in Mobile, which is where we're from. And from that experience, we learned so much about each other. We had fun. We joked, kidded around, and it was just a fun thing. And at the end of that process, I decided, this would make a great book, but let's do it in Destin. I have spent years and years going on vacations in Destin, so that was just, for me, a natural place for it to take place.
Awesome. Okay. And so your book has a little more drama in it, though, than probably than sounds like than the trip did.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, my sisters were pretty cool. I remember one sister went into one room and changed into an Afro wig and started doing Aretha Franklin. So that was about the most drama we had for the weekend.
Okay.
But my 5 sisters in the book, they have family secrets that come out that have been buried for 20-something years, and it turned out to be quite dramatic.
Okay, and that's just real. That's just like anyone. It's a real life scenario.
Yes.
One thing I noticed also that I have to compliment you on is that when I immediately started reading the book, I could tell that it was written by a highly intelligent person.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And not to say that it's over the heads of people, I think, but it's written by, I could tell you're portraying the intelligence of the characters, and that's very refreshing.
And I think that writing is an art. You have to learn how to do it. You have to look at putting those feelings on paper.
Yes.
And it was a very deliberate process for me, learning how to write, how to say it, learning my voice, for example. So it was a lot of work, but it was, in the end, I enjoyed it.
Yes. And Sandra's message to us today is actually, Sissey's message to us today actually is how to write and publish your book, how to get your book published with an established publisher.
Exactly.
And that's one thing that I can't help but admire that this is your first book, and you were picked up by a major publisher.
Turquoise Morning Press.
Yes.
And it's one of the small presses, but they've got quite a presence within the press community, and I was very excited to have someone of that caliber pick up my very first book.
Yes, that's very impressive.
Yes.
I have to tell you, as a writer, that's very impressive. I really, really admire that. How long did it actually take you to write your book?
Well, after that weekend, I wrote the book in about 3 months because I was so excited. I sort of played things in my head. I knew what I wanted to happen. I knew about the characters. I knew the backdrop was going to be a love story with one of the sisters. And but what happened was that my oldest sister died shortly after that, and it was just an ordeal for me. It was a process that I had to go through, and I actually put the book down for about 9 years and didn't do anything with it. I just couldn't touch it. And one day, a friend of mine, Dr. Leroy Giver, he's a minister in the D.C. area, he and I had gotten our doctorates together, and he said to me, he actually read the manuscript 10 years before that, and he said, Sandra, where's that book you wrote? And he knew I was going to be, my pen name was going to be Sissey Wilder. He said, you've got to do something with it. I think it's something people would like to to hear or to read about. And I sort of took it off the shelf and dusted it off and had to go back and rewrite everything because 10 years ago we really didn't have, we had emailing going on, but there was no text messaging, no cell phones the way it is nowadays. So I had to go back and literally rewrite every scene to bring it up to date. And once I did that, I sent it to a friend of mine, knew a publisher, and she gave me her name and number, and I sent the manuscript to her, and she read through it, but it took her months to make that decision because she had certain books that she was looking at. And she was starting a new line called the Barefoot line, and it's about books that are taking place in on beach scenes, pretty much. And she decided that my book would be a perfect fit for that line, and that's how it came about.
Wow, that's amazing. So that really goes to show you, if viewer, if you really pay attention to what Sissey said, she wrote this book in 3 months, but put it down for 9 years, and then it took the inspiration of a question, basically, from someone else to re-inspire you. And then I did notice that you address, like, there are scenes that talk about Facebook and Twitter and a lot of things that we know to be current. So that's why I was thinking you wrote the book last year.
Well, like I said, it had to be totally sort of revamped. And in the process, what I had to do, I had to go back and learn my writing craft. So I started taking online classes. I joined Georgia Romance Writers, so I would go to those meetings once a month. And every time there was a workshop, I signed up for it because writing, it's a deliberate process.
It is.
You have to learn that craft just like you do anything else.
Yes, that's really powerful. That's really that, and being able to stick to that like that. I know so many people who say, "Oh, I wrote something years ago, and I got it in a notebook somewhere," and they're afraid to pull it back out because next they have to type it or what have you. And it just goes to show, if you really hang in there and don't give up on the power of your dream, there it is.
And I believe in it because I feel it's a book that crosses generational lines, race, economics, I mean, you name it. We all have families, and I think that we all have dynamics to go along with that. We all have just issues that we bury sometimes, we don't talk about. And I think in the book, everything comes out in the end, and I think it was really important for those sisters to rebond, but they had to go through a process in order to get there.
Right. Wow. That's amazing. I'm enjoying reading. I'm about halfway through, and I'm really enjoying reading. And so the way you went about getting your publisher, though, how did that happen?
Well, as I said earlier, I had a friend who worked with this person who was starting her own company. She had been writing for years and years and years. And she decided to start her own company, Turquoise Morning Press. And she was very new, was looking for really good authors, but I think that my first manuscript was good, but it wasn't great. And what she did was that she assigned me an editor, and that editor and I would go back and forth. And the first editor I had felt like my writing was more like a grandma, and she and I fought back and forth. But she became ill, and I ended up getting a new editor. The new editor, I sent her the manuscript to her one night. 2 nights later, she sent me this elaborate email saying, "Awesome, I loved it, I cried, I laughed," and she was just so inspirational. And within 3 months, we were published.
That is
awesome. She and I worked so well together. I actually worked full time during the day, and so she would send me something at night. I would go home the next day after work, 5 o'clock. And I would take a 45-minute power nap and get up and write until 2 o'clock in the morning time sometimes. And so by the next morning, whatever she sent to me was redone. And she and I sort of, I like the fact that she allowed me to have my voice, because as a writer, it is critically important that you find your voice and that you use your voice in your writing. Otherwise, I think it doesn't work.
Right, that's true. Yeah, if you just try to be someone you're not, or write characters that you really don't know,
you gotta feel in your voice.
Yes,
she allowed me to do that.
Yes, that's really awesome. And then that you stuck with her game plan as well. When she that you were responsive.
Yes,
that's a big key.
Yes, because I trusted her and she trusted me. She knew she wanted it to be my work.
Yes,
but there were technical things that we had to take care of. I mean, sometimes a comma might have been out of place, or a quotation mark. But she was one of the best editors in the field.
Yeah, so sounds like you have quite a history with writing. How old were you when you first really got inspired to write?
Well, fourth grade, my school did a sort of contest, and all the grades did, and we had to write a poem about this sock hop we were having. Of course, I'm dating myself, but back in the old days, we would have dances in the gym. We would take our socks off, and we called it a sock hop after school. And so they wanted somebody to write a poem. And I remember writing a poem called Come One, Come All to the Biggest Ball of All. And my poem won for the entire school.
Awesome.
I had to go to every class and read that poem. And then after that, I was in high school, I actually was the assistant editor of my yearbook.
Okay.
And I also wrote our class poem for my senior year.
Awesome.
That was published in the yearbook. So I started early on.
So you have quite a history with writing.
I've always loved to write.
And then where did you go to college?
I got my undergrad from Armstrong in Savannah. I got my master's from Troy State University.
Okay.
And I got my doctorate from Nova Southeastern University.
Awesome. Okay. And what's your doctorate in?
It is in higher education.
Awesome. Okay.
Educational leadership.
Wow. So you are an educator.
Yes.
A leader. And now a soon-to-be famous author.
I hope so.
Yes, that's awesome. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.